welcome back to another game dev journey video. If you are new here, welcome. Thanks for joining us. If you enjoy the video, please give it a like and consider subscribing if you'd like to see more content from me. Today, we're going to have a look at level design and the level design process. Good planning at the beginning and during a project can save you a lot of headache. Let's go through some tips that can help make the level creation process go more smoothly. To begin your concept process, the first thing that you should do is nail down the restrictions, goals, and context of your level. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, first off, restrictions. These are things you have to do. Often they're not decided by the level designer. For example, introduce and teach a new mechanic, such as a new item. Maybe the level can't take place on Earth. Maybe you need to introduce and use a new enemy type throughout the level. Maybe you need to meet up with a friendly non-player character at the end of the level. Goals. Goals are things you want to do. This could be a level's theme, challenges, or anything like that. For example, maybe a level has a lot of verticality. This will create a sense of acrophobia, fear of heights. Maybe there are alternative routes in a platformer. Finally, context. These are the things you need to consider. For example, maybe your 7th level in a game takes place during the midpoint. You've already got other levels planned. How will this level be unique? Now, what are the reasons for focusing on restrictions, goals, and context? Well, firstly, it creates a starting point so that you avoid the blank canvas problem, where there are just too many possibilities and you don't know where to begin. Secondly, you'll reduce the risk of having to rework your level part way to make your level work. And it helps you create structure and focus from the very beginning. And you can plan work around the level more effectively.
Sand sharks from above.
One of the next steps is usually to create a flowchart or a timeline so that you can make sure that you know when certain things should take place. Some things will probably logically or have to take place in a certain order, while some things are more fluid. For example, if an NPC is supposed to give you a mission briefing, it doesn't make sense for the player to meet them at the end of the mission. After you've got all of this down, there are a few good questions to ask yourself. First off, where does the level take place? Is it a forest? Maybe a ghost town or an abandoned town? Maybe a town that nature is reclaiming after some kind of apocalypse has taken place. Maybe it takes place in France. Next, when does the level take place? Is it noon, nighttime, is it after a big battle? What are the mechanics of the game? Because the level should facilitate the gameplay that the game has. So you should make sure that you understand and stay up to date on the mechanics of the game, because making a level in a vacuum and then trying to shoehorn in the game's mechanics is generally not a good approach. Why will players remember your level? What sets your level apart? What are the highlights that will leave an impact on the player? Does the location fit the gameplay? If the level is focused on long-range sniper combat, then having it to take place indoors with tight corridors is not really going to work. What is the story of the location? What kind of place is it? What happened there? Who or what lives there? The things that make your level feel more believable and alive. What are they? What will I need to communicate to the team making this game or to myself? Is there anything you would need to tell programmers and artists, people in the sound department about? What do you need to think about when you're making this? What do you need to know so that the artist can make the level pretty? What do they need to understand so that the gameplay experience remains intact? Is your level possible? Can the level be made in terms of the engine, the time, the asset creation, and so on? Can you actually make this level? Last of all, you need to think about critical and golden paths. Now, the critical path is the quickest and most direct route to beating the level. This is the kind of thing that is taken to extremes by speedrunners. Even if you're going to avoid all side quests, avoid killing all the creatures, and just go straight to the goal, get to the end of the level as quickly as possible. That is the critical path. Now, the developer would rather have you take the golden path. This is the designer's preferred route. It's the one you expect most players to take and the one which will offer the optimal experience. So don't forget to predict and plan for these early on so that your level flows well and makes sense. But also don't forget to test out your level by following neither of these paths, neither the critical path, neither the gold path. Try and break the level, in essence, to make sure everything's working as you expect it to. You can nail down these things: restrictions, goals, context. You can ask yourself those important questions and focus on your critical and golden path. You're on your way to making an excellent level. Once again, thanks very much for joining me today. Please like the video if you enjoyed it, consider subscribing if you would like to see more from me, and leave a comment below with some tips for other aspiring level designers. Thanks again, see you next time.